Well, hi, welcome, and we have today with us Karen Carlton, who is with Performance Solutions. Their company helps workplaces and workforce training and performance. And Karen's here to answer a few of my questions that are very important. Number one, what exactly, Karen, is training evaluation?
Well, Ron, training evaluation is taking a critical look at a training program and figuring out, are people learning? Is it getting the results that we want for our company? And if not, why not? And what to do about it?
I see. So if training gets rave reviews, why should we evaluate it?
Well, we want to be careful by just evaluating the satisfaction or the learner reaction in terms of, did they like it? Did they like the food? Was the room okay? Because that is not indicative of learning. That only shows satisfaction. So it's
Okay.
important that we look at, did they actually learn? Do we have proof of that? Is there proof that they were able to use those knowledge or skills on the job? And did it actually make a difference for the company?
Yeah, that makes sense. I've heard about Kirkpatrick and Phillips. How is their work important in training evaluation?
Well, Kirkpatrick and Phillips were
Yeah.
two of the leading gurus of training evaluation. James Kirkpatrick and his father before him, who actually developed the model, Don Kirkpatrick, talked about the four levels of evaluation. The first level being learner reaction or satisfaction. Did they
Hmm.
like it? The second level being learning. Did they acquire the knowledge or skills that were taught? And third, did they as a result change their behavior as a result of what they learned? And of course, ultimately, was it of value to the organization that those people had learned and were able to apply the skills or knowledge? Now, Phillips came along a little later. His level is unofficially level 5, or return on investment. So in terms of taking the whole program costs, including the employee wages to go to the training, and then you minus the benefits, you get the net value of that training for the organization. Did it actually result in a return on the investment?
And that's why you hear the word ROI.
ROI.
Right. So what is the cost of not evaluating training?
Well, the cost or the risk of not evaluating your training program is that you might be spending money continuously on something that's not getting the results that you want. It could also be that the training program is not quite as effective as it could be, or potentially inefficient. You might even have outdated content in that program. So it's important to keep revisiting it and reviewing it or evaluating to see what kind of results you're getting.
Sort of the same idea like advertising. You put your money in different areas to find out what's working and what's not. Go from there. Excellent,
Exactly.
excellent. So who evaluates training?
Well, that's a good question. All of us, really. If anybody who's taken a course or a seminar or a workshop or even a webinar, in some senses you're evaluating. You're thinking critically about it and saying either you liked it, you didn't like it, you found it useful or not, or you were able to use the information. But whose opinion counts? Well, everyone's opinion counts to some extent. You can look at, did the learners get much out of it? Did the managers think that the employees learned effectively from it? Did the customers notice a difference after the employees have had the training? So there's a variety of people. You could even look at the subject matter experts in whatever field it is, whether it's banking. Were they teaching the appropriate content? So you want to get as many different perspectives as you can so that you can counterbalance it so you have accurate and reliable evaluation information or data rather than just asking the managers or just asking the employees. You want to make sure you have objective and neutral data.
So how do you evaluate training?
That's a good question too. How exactly do you think critically and analyze a program's results? Typically, you want to start with some kind of document review. So if you've got completed evaluation forms from the training program, you can take a look at those. You can take a look at the training materials, perhaps lesson plans. And as well, you want to talk to the people. So you can talk to the managers of the employees that have taken that training. You can talk to the employees themselves, perhaps again the customers or the partners of that organization, or even the co-workers of the people who've taken the training. And then you put all that information together and you start to see patterns, and then that helps you learn how to improve it.
So I guess what it is everybody has some input.
Everyone should have some input.
Yeah.
If you're only asking one group or you're only using one method, you're not likely to get very reliable data. In fact, it's actually really a good idea to partner with a qualified, neutral person who can help you gather that information to make sure it's unbiased.
Very good idea. So what's one tip for improving the training evaluation? One tip.
My favorite tip that I've actually implemented with a couple of clients is to forego those old-fashioned paper evaluations. They end up collecting dust on the shelves, and some poor admin person usually ends up spending hours tabulating scores, and unfortunately, those results are often not used. And typically, I recommend, and I've recommended this to 2 organizations which save them a lot of time and money, is roll that level 1 evaluation into e-evaluations or e-surveys. That way, you've got objective, confidential data being collected, it's neutral, and as well, you get nice summarized reports that say 80% of people thought this or 20% thought that, and you get their comments in there. Plus, you can compare across classes or across instructors, and then you can have that organizational level learning and improvement.
So they can actually do it at home, for instance, during the evening when they don't feel pressured at work. They can do it
Precisely. They could, most likely.
What a cool idea. So what would you find when evaluating training?
Well, the last client that I worked with to evaluate their professional development program for staff, I found that a lot of their activities were not as interactive as they could be to keep people engaged and interested. As well, some of the materials just needed some tweaks or enhancements, such as PowerPoint slides with font that was too small.
Yes, we know about that, don't we?
Or handouts that were just too long, didn't really summarize the key points. There's also been a few facilitators who needed some enhancing of their skills, so they could have taken a train the trainer program.
Yes.
The one predominant thing I see in a lot of training programs is that we always want to put in more detail than is possible. And I'm guilty of that too. I'm a subject matter expert. I love my field and I want to give people everything, but it interferes with our learning of the need to know information with all the nice to know information. So making sure that information or those skills in there are directly relevant to the job and directly applicable or practicable is the key.
Very good answer. So what are some common recommendations that you would recommend to us?
Well, based on the findings of when I do an evaluation, such as the one I had just done, whatever your findings are lead to your recommendation. So for example, include more interactive exercises. Make that link stronger with more examples from the workplace. Help those instructors build capacity so that they can learn how to lead more interactive groups, and even teach them about the importance of evaluating learning. How can we show that those people actually did learn those skills or that knowledge?
Very cool. And how can Performance Solutions help us?
Performance Solutions is happy to partner with organizations to help them figure out how best to evaluate their programs and then partner with them to implement changes to enhance their learning results and the performance of their staff as a result of those training programs. So that way you're well spending those training dollars. You're getting that value add back to the people and the organization.
Getting the best bang for your dollar.
Exactly.
Wow. Well, thank you for speaking with us today, Karen, and it's been a real honor having you here today. Till next time, have a great day.